hello in a single moment, his entire life changed. At a lively class reunion, Jason found himself caught between two women, his wife and his first love. One passion was reignited, while the other quietly turned into a dangerous game, where every step could shatter the world he knew. But before you get comfortable, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments which city you're watching from and what time it is there. I'm really curious to see who has joined us. Now, get cozy. We're about to begin. The evening air was thick with anticipation as Jason arrived at the entrance of the old school's banquet hall. Warm lights spilled from inside, and laughter drifted out to the parking lot where alumni, dressed in their best, greeted each other after so many years apart. Jason paused before stepping in, smoothing down his crisp blue shirt, his reflection flickering in the glass door. At 35, he looked every inch the successful man, tall, athletic build, well-groomed dark hair and eyes that still sparkled with a hint of boyish mischief. A gold ring glinted on his finger, a reminder of the life he had built since his school days. Just inside, his wife Kelly waited for him, scanning the crowd with gentle curiosity. Kelly was beautiful in a subtle, classic way. Her slim, toned figure complemented by a fitted cream-colored cocktail dress. The soft fabric hugged her petite waist, hinting at delicate lace lingerie beneath. Her light blonde hair was styled in loose curls that framed her graceful neck, and her pale blue eyes caught Jason's as she smiled. Her presence was calm, steady, and supportive. Together, they stepped into the hall. Old classmates greeted them, some with exclamations of surprise, others with nostalgic hugs. The room buzzed with chatter and clinking glasses. There were familiar faces everywhere. Ben, Jason's childhood friend, still tall and broad-shouldered, now with a jovial belly and quick laugh. Linda, the once shy girl who'd blossomed into a confident woman in a tailored emerald dress. And Mark, now a successful lawyer, whose sharp suit couldn't hide the warmth in his eyes. Jason mingled, sharing memories and stories, feeling the years melt away in the warmth of old friendships. Then, as if drawn by an invisible thread, his gaze shifted across the room and landed on her. Amanda. She stood near the window, bathed in golden light, her laughter ringing out like music. Amanda's long chestnut hair flowed in soft waves down her back, glossy and full of life. Her green eyes were bright, lined with just enough makeup to make them smolder, and her lips, curved in a smile, invited conversation. Amanda wore a deep red dress that accentuated her hourglass figure. The neckline dipped just enough to reveal a tasteful glimpse of her full, rounded breasts. The fabric clung to her narrow waist and flared over her hips, hinting at the curve of her generous behind. When she turned, Jason glimpsed the intricate black lace of her lingerie through a subtle slit at her thigh. She moved with confidence, every step fluid and natural, radiating warmth and excitement. For a moment, Jason forgot everything else. The music, the crowd, even the ring on his finger. All faded as memories from a different life surged to the surface. He remembered stolen kisses under the bleachers, secret notes, the rush of first love. Amanda caught his eye, and recognition dawned. Her smile widened as she crossed the room to him, her perfume delicate and intoxicating. "Jason Miller," she teased. her voice low and inviting. "I would have recognized you anywhere." He laughed, feeling suddenly young again. "Amanda Harrison, it's been forever." They talked, at first, about safe topics. Jobs, travels, family. But soon, nostalgia and the gentle tension between them took over. Kelly had been drawn into another group, deep in conversation with Linda and Ben's wife. Amanda leaned closer, her arm brushing Jason's. The air between them charged with an energy Jason hadn't felt in years. Amanda's laughter came easily. "Do you remember prom night?" she asked, green eyes shining with mischief. Jason did. He remembered her dress, blue that time, and the way her body had felt pressed close to his on the dance floor. As the night deepened, Amanda suggested stepping outside for some fresh air. Jason hesitated, but the pull was undeniable. They slipped out onto the terrace, away from prying eyes. The garden was quiet, moonlight painting soft silver on the lawn. Amanda turned to him, her red dress glowing against her smooth tan skin. She looked at him, not saying a word, her meaning clear. Jason felt his heart race as Amanda took his hand. The touch of her fingers was electric, a whisper of heat against his skin. She pressed herself close, her body soft and warm. Her lips brushed his ear as she whispered, "Some things never really end, do they?" His breath caught as she leaned in, her hands trailing down his arms, delicate and deliberate. He traced the line of her back, feeling the lace beneath her dress. Amanda's lips met his, soft at first, then urgent. Her hands explored, finding the fastenings of his shirt, her touch sending tremors through him. It was just a kiss, but it carried the promise of everything they had ever shared. Jason knew, in that moment, that something had awoken between them, something that would not easily be ignored. A voice from inside called for Amanda, snapping the spell. She smiled one last time, slipping back into the light, her dress swirling around her hips. Jason watched her go, his thoughts racing, desire burning in his chest. The reunion was only beginning, but already Jason sensed his life was about to change. Jason tried to focus on the cheerful chaos of the reunion, but his mind kept replaying the electric moments outside with Amanda. For the rest of the evening, every time he caught a glimpse of her, the confident sway of her hips, the way her red dress hugged her curves, the glint of amusement in her green eyes. He felt a strange mix of guilt and excitement spark within him. Kelly seemed to notice nothing. She was deep in conversation with Ben's wife, her laughter ringing out, her cream dress still pristine and elegant. The delicate straps framed her slender shoulders, and when she turned, the subtle lines of her body were visible under the silky fabric. Jason felt a pang of affection and loyalty, but it was tangled with something new and dangerous. As the night wore on, Jason and Amanda found themselves drifting toward one another again, almost as if by accident. They talked in low voices about old friends, funny stories, and the choices life had thrown their way. Jason realized how easily he fell back into Amanda's orbit. Her playful teasing, the way she lightly touched his arm when making a point, her glances lingering a beat too long. All of it reignited a fire he thought had burned out long ago. The crowd began to thin. Someone put on a slow song, and a few couples danced near the stage. Amanda took Jason's hand, leading him to a quieter corner. Her confidence had only grown since school, and now, at 33, she was a vision of maturity and allure. Tonight, her red dress hid dark burgundy lingerie. A lacy bra that shaped her generous breasts and matching panties that emphasized the roundness of her hips and bottom. Her skin glowed softly under the dim lights, the color in her cheeks heightened by the excitement of the evening. Amanda's body was made for closeness. She moved with ease and grace, her hourglass silhouette commanding attention. Jason, standing beside her, was keenly aware of every detail. The line of her back as she turned, the curve of her waist, and the way her laughter invited him in. Eventually, the party faded. Friends left in pairs or groups, promises to meet again soon exchanged with hugs and smiles. Jason and Amanda lingered, their words quieter, their gazes more honest. Amanda leaned in, her voice a whisper. "I don't want this night to end, Jason." "Not yet." He hesitated, torn, but the pull was too strong. "Let's go somewhere," he said, voice barely audible. Outside, the night air was cooler. Amanda hailed a ride, and soon they found themselves at a cozy boutique hotel just outside town. The lobby was empty, save for the clerk at the desk, who barely looked up as they checked in. Amanda's smile, mischievous and inviting, set Jason's heart pounding. The elevator ride was silent, but thick with anticipation. Inside their suite, Amanda slipped off her heels, letting her bare feet sink into the plush carpet. She stood in front of Jason, her eyes searching his face for any sign of doubt. There was none. Amanda moved first, stepping into his arms. The red dress slid off her shoulders, revealing her smooth skin and the delicate straps of her burgundy bra. She stood before him, unafraid, her breasts full and shapely, rising and falling with each breath. Her waist curved gently into her hips, and the matching panties hugged her perfectly. Jason's hands trembled as he touched her, tracing her sides, learning every curve anew. She pressed against him, her hair cascading over her shoulders, the scent of her perfume wrapping around him. Their lips met, slow and searching, both hungry for lost time and new discovery. Amanda's hands found the buttons of his shirt, sliding it from his shoulders. Her nails grazed his chest, sending a shiver through him. Jason explored the softness of her back, the firmness of her bottom, the warmth of her skin. Amanda guided him to the bed, her body fluid and graceful. She let her dress fall, standing in her lingerie, confidence radiating from her. Amanda pulled him close, her body molding to his, the heat between them rising. Their kisses deepened, hands exploring with a blend of tenderness and urgency. Jason marveled at her beauty, the way her chestnut hair framed her face, the way her breasts fit perfectly in his hands, the way she responded to his touch. She arched into him, their bodies fitting together naturally. In the quiet of the room, they found each other again. Not as teenagers, but as adults, with all the longing and experience the years had given them. They moved together in the dim light, breathless and tangled in sheets. Every touch was new and yet familiar. Every gasp a reminder of what they had once shared and what they had found again. It was gentle and passionate, filled with laughter and sighs, their bodies moving in rhythm until finally they lay spent. Amanda's head on Jason's chest, his arm around her waist. For a long moment, neither spoke. Outside, the world was silent, as if the night had paused just for them. But even in their bliss, reality hovered. Jason knew this was dangerous, yet he could not bring himself to regret it. In Amanda's arms, everything felt right. Afterwards, Amanda pulled the covers around herself, her green eyes still bright, but now touched with something softer, something like hope. "This doesn't have to end tonight," she murmured, tracing his jaw with her finger. Jason nodded, uncertain but unwilling to let go. The next morning they parted with promises. Cautious, breathless, and filled with excitement. They exchanged numbers, Amanda winking as she slipped her dress back over her lingerie. Back home, Jason moved through the motions of daily life. Kelly greeted him with a gentle smile, her blonde hair pulled back, blue eyes watching him with quiet affection. She wore a soft grey blouse and fitted jeans that accentuated her slim frame. But tonight, Jason noticed the lace trim of her pale blue bra as she changed for bed. The guilt twisted inside him, but so did the memory of Amanda's embrace. He thought no one suspected. But in the shadows of his new secret, someone else had noticed. Linda, ever observant, had seen Jason and Amanda leave the reunion together. She said nothing, but her sharp eyes lingered a little longer on Jason at work the next day. Already, the seeds of intrigue were sown. Jason's double life had begun. The days that followed were filled with an electric sort of restlessness. Jason kept his routine as steady as he could. Going to work, chatting with Kelly over coffee in the mornings, running errands on the weekends. But underneath it all, the memory of Amanda lingered, vivid and alive. They found ways to see each other. Brief lunches in out-of-the-way diners, stolen hours in quiet parks, late-night phone calls that slipped past midnight. Amanda was a spark in Jason's world. Unpredictable and exhilarating, each message from her sent his heart racing. Each glance a secret only they understood. Amanda, too, glowed in this new excitement. Her confidence seemed to grow with every rendezvous. She sent Jason playful pictures. Her lips painted a daring red, a hint of black lace visible beneath a white blouse, her hair tousled and wild. Each photo was artful, never explicit, but full of promise. Jason saved them all, unable to resist. Yet, the thrill was tinged with anxiety. Sometimes, as Jason typed out a message or hurried from work to meet Amanda, he felt the shadow of guilt at his back. Kelly, ever gentle, never asked questions. Her trust was a weight he felt more keenly with every passing day. Then, one Friday afternoon, the world shifted. Jason had planned a quiet evening with Amanda at a boutique apartment she'd rented for the weekend. It was a hidden gem. Exposed brick, tall windows, soft lighting. Amanda met him at the door in a navy wrap dress that clung to her waist and hips, her hair loose and shimmering in the golden hour sun. Underneath, she wore a midnight blue bralette with scalloped edges, just visible when she moved, and matching satin panties that hugged her curves. Her body, athletic yet feminine, moved with grace as she led him inside. They sat on the couch, talking, the distance between them shrinking with every laugh, every sideways glance. Amanda curled her legs beneath her, the hem of her dress slipping up her thigh. Jason reached out, brushing a stray lock of hair from her cheek. She looked at him, eyes bright with invitation. He leaned in, his lips grazing hers, slow and gentle at first. Amanda responded, her hands sliding up his arms, her touch light and searching. The kiss deepened, Amanda's body pressing close, her breath quickening. Jason felt the heat rise as his hands traced the curve of her waist, the swell of her hip. Amanda's fingers found the buttons of his shirt, easing them open, her palms warm against his skin. She drew him in, guiding his hands beneath the fabric of her dress. The bralette was soft under his touch, barely containing the fullness of her breasts. Amanda arched into him, her lips exploring his neck, her laughter a soft whisper in the dim light. Jason pulled her dress higher, his hands sliding over her thighs, the silk of her panties a delicious contrast to her smooth skin. They moved together, slow and deliberate, every touch meaningful, every sigh a secret shared between them. Amanda wrapped her arms around him, holding him close, as their bodies melted into each other, a perfect fit. The world faded away, leaving only the two of them, caught in a moment that felt both endless and impossibly fleeting. Afterwards, they lay tangled together, Amanda's head on Jason's chest. She drew lazy circles on his skin, her expression peaceful, but her eyes sharp and alive. "I wish we didn't have to hide," she whispered. Jason stroked her hair, uncertain how to respond. For a while they just listened to each other breathe, the city's sounds distant and muffled. But the calm was shattered by a sudden, insistent knock at the door. Jason sat up, heart pounding. Amanda pulled on her dress, moving quietly to the peephole. Her eyes widened. She mouthed a single word to Jason. "Kelly." Shock surged through him. "No, she can't. She wouldn't." Amanda pressed a finger to her lips. There was another knock, this one sharper. Jason scrambled to button his shirt, his mind racing with possible explanations. His thoughts were a tangled mess of panic, guilt, disbelief. Amanda squared her shoulders and opened the door a crack. To Jason's horror, Kelly stood there, looking stunning in a dark green blouse and fitted jeans that showed off her slender figure. Her blonde hair was swept up, exposing the curve of her neck. Her expression calm, but her blue eyes cold and calculating. "Hi, Amanda," Kelly said smoothly. "Is Jason here?" Amanda hesitated for just a heartbeat, then nodded. "Yes, we were just catching up." Kelly's gaze flicked to Jason, who stood awkwardly by the couch. He tried to read her face, searching for anger or hurt, but saw only cool determination. For a long, tense moment, no one spoke. Jason felt as if the air itself had frozen. Then Kelly smiled, a slow, unsettling smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Mind if I join you?" The shock was complete. Jason felt the floor tilt beneath him, every nerve buzzing with uncertainty. Amanda recovered first. "Of course. Please, have a seat." Kelly entered, glancing around the apartment. Jason noticed, for the first time, how striking she was. her movements poised, her figure slender yet curvy, her presence commanding in the small space. She sat across from them, legs crossed. "So," she said quietly, "how long has this been going on?" Neither Amanda nor Jason spoke. The silence stretched, thick with secrets. Kelly's eyes glittered. "I saw you both leave the reunion. I thought maybe I was imagining things. But you've been careless, Jason." Amanda looked down, cheeks flushed, her hands clenched in her lap. Jason tried to find words, but nothing came. The shock of Kelly's appearance, her composure, the realization that their secret was not a secret at all. It all crashed over him at once. Finally, Kelly stood. "I won't make a scene. But we will talk, Jason. And you..." She glanced at Amanda, voice soft but icy. "Should decide what you really want." She left, the door closing with a gentle click that sounded louder than any shout. Amanda exhaled shakily. "That was not what I expected." Jason just nodded, heart pounding, 1,000 thoughts swirling. He realized now that the line between desire and danger was razor thin. The game had changed, and nothing would ever be the same. The aftermath of Kelly's sudden visit left Jason raw with anxiety. He replayed every moment in his mind, searching for clues. A word, a look, anything that might explain her calm confidence. That night, at home, Kelly acted as if nothing had happened. She made dinner in a pale pink tank top and soft pajama shorts. Her blonde hair loosely braided over her shoulder. Her bare feet whispering over the kitchen floor. Her body moved with its usual gentle grace. And if there was a shadow behind her blue eyes, Jason could not decipher it. Still, the tension crackled beneath the surface. Every time Jason glanced at his phone, he half expected an angry message from Kelly or a desperate one from Amanda. But nothing came. Just silence. Amanda, meanwhile, tried to bury her nerves under routine. She spent more time at the gym, her toned figure showcased in fitted leggings and bright crop tops. At work, she wore crisp blouses and tailored skirts, her hair pulled into a sleek ponytail, her posture straight, shoulders set. Underneath, she chose bold lingerie, scarlet bra with delicate lace, matching panties that hugged her hips, as if to remind herself she was still in control, still desirable no matter what chaos had erupted. A few days later, Jason received an anonymous message. The sender's number was hidden, the words simple and chilling. "You think your secret is safe? Meet me tonight, or everyone will know." Jason's heart hammered as he stared at the screen. A second message followed with an address. An old coffee shop on the edge of town, quiet and dim after sunset. Uncertain but desperate, Jason made excuses to Kelly, who only nodded and returned to her book and drove out into the evening. The cafe was nearly empty, just a single barista and a figure in the corner, back to the wall. Jason's breath caught as he recognized Linda. Linda was always observant, the kind of woman who noticed things others missed. Tonight, her appearance was striking. Glossy auburn hair in loose waves, a forest green dress that set off her olive skin and the curve of her body. She wore a black lace bra that showed in the V of her neckline, and high heels that made her legs seem impossibly long. Sit, Linda said softly, eyes unreadable. Jason obeyed, fighting to steady his nerves. What do you want? Linda regarded him for a long moment. I want honesty. You and Amanda. How long has it been going on? Jason swallowed. A few weeks. Linda smiled, not kindly. You know, secrets do not last forever, Jason. People are already talking. Amanda is not as subtle as she thinks. If you care about either woman, you should end it before someone gets hurt. She leaned forward, her expression softer now. But maybe it is not too late. Jason left the cafe shaken, feeling watched, exposed. Linda's words echoed in his mind. And more disturbingly, so did her parting glance, loaded with knowledge and warning. Back at her apartment, Amanda waited, nerves strung tight as guitar strings. She wore a simple, silky navy robe, belted at her waist. Underneath, her lingerie was daring. A sheer, midnight blue set with fine embroidery. The bra pushing up her breasts, the panties cut high, accentuating her hips and round bottom. When Jason entered, she reached for him, her vulnerability shining through the careful confidence. He kissed her, desperate and full of questions, and Amanda met him with equal urgency. Her robe slipped to the floor, leaving her in nothing but the intricate lingerie. Jason's hands traced her body, feeling the trembling strength in her muscles, the rapid heartbeat beneath her skin. Amanda's hair tumbled over her shoulders as she drew him to the bed. Her eyes wide and dark in the soft light. They lay together, skin to skin, every movement slow and searching. Amanda's hands roamed Jason's body, her touch gentle but insistent. She pressed her lips to his jaw, down the line of his throat, and Jason shivered under the tenderness of it all. Amanda guided his hands to her waist, then to the small of her back, where the delicate lace traced her curves. They moved in sync, each sigh and gasp shared between them, each caress a question, each answer written in the arch of Amanda's back, the flutter of her lashes, the warmth of her mouth. For a moment, the outside world faded. There was only trust, longing, and the hope that maybe, somehow, they could still find happiness. Afterwards, they lay tangled in the sheets, Amanda's head on Jason's chest, their fingers intertwined. I got a strange message, Jason said quietly. He told her everything. About Linda, the meeting, the warning. Amanda's face tightened, her lips pressing into a thin line. So we are being watched? She whispered, voice trembling. What do we do? Jason stroked her hair. We wait, we watch, we are careful. The days blurred. Jason lived two lives, devoted husband at home, secret lover in the shadows. Kelly's manner was unreadable. She went about her routines, sometimes affectionate, sometimes distant. She wore her beauty like armor. Crisp blouses, tailored jeans, soft cardigans that fell perfectly on her slender frame. One evening, she passed Jason in the hall wearing nothing but a silk robe and matching ivory lingerie, her figure outlined in the light from the bedroom. Her eyes met his, searching, but she said nothing. Jason wondered what she knew, what she suspected. Guilt gnawed at him, but desire, for both women in different ways, refused to fade. Amanda, for her part, grew restless. She sent Jason teasing messages, photos of herself in new lingerie, emerald green, blush pink, black with delicate bows. Sometimes her eyes were playful, other times sad, always full of longing. One night, another anonymous message arrived. Do not trust anyone, not even her. Jason stared at the screen. Did it mean Amanda, Linda, or impossibly Kelly? The mystery deepened. He felt surrounded by secrets. Every smile a potential threat. Every touch a question mark. He met Amanda in a quiet motel room, both of them on edge, the thrill and danger sharper than ever. As Amanda lay beside him after their lovemaking, her hand on his chest, Jason stared at the ceiling, heart pounding. He realized he was trapped, not by any woman, but by the secrets between them all. Somewhere, just out of reach, the truth waited. A truth that would change everything. The days grew heavier, burdened by tension Jason could not shake. He was caught in a net of secrets and suspicion, his thoughts clouded by longing and guilt. Every moment spent with Amanda was shadowed by the fear of discovery. Every moment with Kelly was thick with uncertainty and unspoken questions. Kelly, for her part, had changed. She was still elegant, still moving with that quiet confidence. But now there was a cool edge to her, a watchfulness. She wore crisp blouses with subtle lace underpinnings and tailored skirts that hugged her slender hips. Her blonde hair always perfectly styled. One evening, Jason caught sight of her through the bathroom doorway, standing in front of the mirror in a matching set of sky blue lace. A bra that cupped her small, perfect breasts. Panties that traced her narrow waist, accentuating the gentle roundness of her bottom. She glanced at him in the mirror, her gaze sharp and distant. That same night, Jason's phone buzzed with another message. This time, Amanda. I miss you. Meet me. I need you tonight. Amanda had become more urgent. Her desire mingled with anxiety. When Jason arrived at her apartment, she greeted him in a fitted wine-red dress that set off the golden glow of her skin. Her long wavy hair tumbled over her shoulders, and her eyes sparkled with both mischief and worry. The dress barely concealed the curve of her full breasts, the narrow line of her waist, the generous swell of her hips. Underneath, Jason caught a glimpse of a matching lace set. Dark red, intricate, highlighting every line of her body. Amanda pulled him inside and pressed her lips to his, hungry, searching. For a moment, everything else fell away. Their kisses were urgent, tinged with something desperate. Amanda pressed herself against him, her hands finding the buttons of his shirt, pushing it off his shoulders. Jason's hands slid down her back, following the zipper of her dress, feeling her shiver as it slipped down. The lace bra, delicate and supportive, lifted her breasts. Her panties hugged her hips, accentuating the arch of her lower back and the fullness of her bottom. Amanda guided him to the bed, her body warm and alive beneath his hand. They undressed each other slowly, savoring the touch, the shared gasps, the heat building between them. Jason traced the lines of her body, the curve of her waist, the rise and fall of her chest, the softness of her thighs. Amanda arched into him, her body moving with practiced ease, her lips finding his skin, her hands exploring every muscle and scar. Their lovemaking was more intense than before, a wordless plea for connection in the face of growing danger. They clung to each other as if the world could break apart at any moment. Afterwards, Amanda lay with her head on Jason's chest, her hair fanned over his shoulder. He stroked her back, feeling her heartbeat slow beneath his palm. But even in that closeness, conflict simmered. Amanda lifted her head, her green eyes clouded. Jason, how much longer can we do this? We are always hiding. You are always looking over your shoulder. Jason hesitated. I do not know. I want you. I want this. But I cannot hurt Kelly any more than I already have. Amanda sat up, pulling a sheet around her, her body outlined in the soft lamplight. I'm tired of being the secret. I love you, Jason, but I need more. His heart twisted. What do you want me to do? Tell her the truth, Amanda whispered. Or end this, because someone is trying to destroy us, and I cannot live like this anymore. Jason held her, but his mind raced. The words from Linda, the anonymous messages, Kelly's strange composure. It all pressed in on him, making it hard to breathe. The next morning, Jason returned home, his nerves frayed. Kelly was waiting for him in the kitchen, dressed in simple jeans and a fitted black t-shirt, her hair pulled back. She poured him coffee, her eyes never leaving his face. Jason, she said quietly, we need to talk. He felt the ground shift beneath him. About what? Kelly set her mug down, her fingers trembling ever so slightly. About us. About Amanda. About why you have been so distant. She searched his face, her own expression unreadable. Jason felt the urge to run, to hide, to deny everything. But something in Kelly's calm, her sadness, made him stop. I'm sorry, he said at last. I never meant to hurt you. Kelly looked away, tears threatening in her eyes but not falling. Do you love her? Jason hesitated, his world spinning. I do not know. I care about her, but I care about you too. The silence stretched between them, raw and heavy. Kelly took a shaky breath. You need to decide, Jason. I deserve the truth. I deserve better than this. He nodded, not trusting himself to speak. Later, alone in the shower, Jason tried to scrub the guilt from his skin. But the truth lingered. He was at war with himself, torn between love, lust, and loyalty. That evening, he met Amanda again, but the joy was gone. There were tears, harsh words, desperate embraces. I'm losing myself, Amanda whispered, her voice breaking. I cannot be your secret anymore. Jason held her close, both of them trembling, not knowing what the next day would bring. When he left her apartment, another message waited on his phone. Tomorrow, everything ends. Be ready. He stared at the screen, dread curling in his gut. The conflict that had been brewing was about to explode, and he knew nothing would ever be the same again. Jason barely slept that night. He lay awake, staring at the ceiling, listening to Kelly's slow breathing beside him. His mind spun with worries. Amanda's ultimatum, Kelly's pain, Linda's warnings, the ominous anonymous messages. By dawn, he had made a decision. One way or another, he had to face the truth. All of it. The sun rose clear and bright. Jason found Kelly in the kitchen, barefoot and beautiful in a soft white tee and pale blue shorts, her blonde hair loose around her shoulders. She looked at him with a sadness that was gentler than anger, her blue eyes open and vulnerable. "Will you tell me everything?" Kelly asked, her voice quiet but steady. Jason nodded, his hands trembling. "Yes, you deserve that." He confessed everything. The chance meeting with Amanda at the reunion, the spark that had never quite died, the lunches and secret texts, the stolen nights. He told her about the guilt, the fear, the way Amanda made him feel alive and reckless. He hid nothing. Kelly listened in silence, her face unreadable. When he finished, she stood and crossed her arms. Her posture was strong, her body slender but sure. The white tee hugged her modest chest, the shorts showing off her toned legs. But her presence, her dignity, were what struck Jason most. "Thank you for telling me," she said at last. "It hurts, but at least now I know who I am and who you are." A strange relief washed through Jason. For the first time in weeks, the weight of secrecy lifted. Later that morning, his phone buzzed with one last message from the anonymous number. "Come to the coffee shop, now. Bring nothing." He went, heart pounding. The cafe was almost empty, sunbeams striping the wooden floor. Linda sat in the corner, sipping tea, dressed in a figure-hugging black dress. Her auburn hair glowed in the light, her green eyes as sharp as ever. Jason slid into the seat opposite her. "Was it you?" Linda smiled, the corners of her lips curling in amusement. "I just wanted to protect Amanda and Kelly. You were getting careless, Jason. Someone needed to force you to make a choice." He exhaled slowly. "You scared me." Linda shrugged, her shoulders elegant under the sleek fabric. "Sometimes men need a little push. Now that everyone knows, maybe everyone can finally heal." Amanda arrived moments later. She wore a pale green dress that made her chestnut hair shine. Her figure as striking as ever. A full bust, a narrow waist, and gently rounded hips. Her walk confident even now. Her lingerie was as lovely as always. Cream lace that peaked at the neckline, hinting at softness and strength. She looked from Jason to Linda, her eyes wary. "So it was you all along?" Linda nodded. "I just wanted honesty." Amanda's posture softened. She glanced at Jason, hope and uncertainty warring in her gaze. "What now?" Jason reached for her hand, then let it fall. "I told Kelly everything." Amanda nodded. "And?" "She wants honesty. She wants to try again. If I want it too." He looked down. "Amanda, I care about you, but I cannot go on like this, hurting everyone." Amanda's lips trembled. For a moment she looked years younger, vulnerable. Then she straightened her shoulders, her figure proud. I loved you, Jason. Maybe I always will. But maybe it is time for me to love myself more. Linda stood and touched Amanda's shoulder, a silent gesture of support. Come on, she said softly. Let us both start something new. Jason watched them go, Amanda's green dress fluttering as she walked, her back straight, her body graceful and sure. Linda matched her step, her confidence a quiet promise. Outside, the sun was shining, and Jason felt both empty and strangely light. He returned home, where Kelly waited for him on the porch, her blue eyes clear. She wore a sundress the color of dawn, her slim figure outlined softly in the morning light. She watched him, her hands folded in her lap, her posture open. Jason sat beside her, unsure what to say. For a moment, they just watched the world together. Birdsong, the hum of a distant lawnmower, the gentle rustle of the wind. I am not sure what happens next, Jason admitted at last. Kelly looked at him, a small smile tugging at her lips. Neither am I, but we have a chance to rebuild, if you want to. He nodded, the relief and uncertainty mingling. I do. Kelly reached for his hand. For a long moment, they sat in silence, letting the sun warm their skin, letting the world begin again. That night, Jason and Kelly shared their bed not as strangers, but as two people trying to find their way back. Their closeness was gentle, full of forgiveness and discovery. Kelly's touch was softer than Amanda's, her body smaller, her kisses hesitant at first. But as they lay together, skin to skin, Jason felt something new. Hope. He traced the lines of her body, the subtle rise of her breasts beneath the pale cotton, the warm curve of her hip, the smoothness of her thigh. Kelly's hands trembled as they explored his shoulders and chest. In the darkness, there was no rush, only the slow return to trust, to intimacy, to a future that could be theirs again. When Jason woke the next morning, Kelly was there beside him, her head on his shoulder, her breath warm. Outside, the world was quiet and bright. The truth had hurt, but it had also set them free. Amanda found her own freedom too. Weeks later, Jason received a simple message. Thank you for letting me go. I am finally happy. Take care of her. He smiled, closed his eyes, and felt at peace for the first time in a long while. The past was over. The future, simple as it was, belonged to him and to those he loved.